want to ask you a question. How many of you are fans of wrestling? Well, what you are about to see today is tag team preaching. Moses and Joshua. Moses and Joshua are not the same, but they are used by the same God to bless the same people. Joshua, unlike Moses, didn't have a burning bush that wouldn't burn up. But like Moses, Joshua had the God who set the bush on fire.
Moses prays to God. He initiates the succession process. He says, may the Lord, the God who gives breath to all living things, appoint someone over this community so they will not be sheep without a shepherd.
God can use you if you just be you. You don't have to possess what other folks have. You don't have to be jealous of someone else's gifts or talents. You don't have to get an attitude because you haven't been where others have gone. God can use you if you just be you.
Come on, don't act like you don't know preachers and clergy folk and leaders who think as soon as they leave, everything will fall apart, everything will come undone, everything will be reversed. But I thank God that we have a Moses who talked to God and said, I want a future that's beyond the present that I've given them. Is there anybody in here today that can thank God for a Moses that knows how to talk to God, not just about our past, but a Moses that knows how to talk to God about our unseen tomorrow.
But God's now is not like our now. When God says now, God means you can move when God says move. You can go when God says go. You can possess when God says possess. When God says now, you can step out on the word. When God says now, you can stretch out on the faith. When God says now, you can launch out into the deep. When God says now, God means now. Now is the day. Now is the moment. Now is the opportunity. Now is the time. Now is the moment. God says now.
Am I talking to anybody in here today that can say you can keep your symbols, but give me the spirit? Because the power is not in the symbol. The power is in the spirit. Pharaoh had symbols, but Moses had the spirit. Sisera had symbols, but Deborah had the spirit. Saul had symbols, but David had the spirit. Ahab had symbols, but Elijah had the spirit. The Sadducees had symbols, but John the Baptist had the Spirit. The Pharisees had symbols, but Mary Magdalene had the Spirit. Abraham Lincoln had symbols, but Harriet Tubman had the Spirit. The bus driver had symbols, but Rosa Parks had the Spirit. Bull Connor had symbols, but Martin Luther King had the Spirit. The NYPD had symbols, but Malcolm X had the Spirit. Governor Murphy has symbols, but we have the spirit. Pontius Pilate had the symbols, but Jesus